Welcome back to Homie's Fact Sheet since 1992. It's been a gap in there, but I first did a Homie's Fact Sheet back in 1991, I think. I'm going to see if I can find some video of it and stick it on here.
Did you know that there are 24 student commodes, 12 and a half students per commode? The average home has only 350 per commode. Next week on Homie's Fact Sheet, we will compare the uniform cost between the three major sports.
But Homie's Fact Sheet really is all about goofy facts. Well, today I want to talk about something goofy also. I want to talk about roundabouts. Roundabouts are a new thing here in America. They've been around in Europe for a while.
I guess what we do is just drive around this circle here. It should be the second left exit. There's the hotel. Hey, look, kids! There's Big Ben and there's Parliament!
But they seem to be more and more used here in America, and I don't know what to think about roundabouts because I like them in some ways, and in other ways I don't like them. I think they're kind of crazy when you do some things with them that I've seen.
No, I can't seem to get over to the left, honey. I'll try next time. Sorry.
Some people don't know how to use them, so that makes them even worse. But when used properly and correctly, roundabouts can be a wonderful thing. So I want to point out some key features of the roundabout and lay out some things that I wish people would do. Number one, you see a roundabout coming. When you're coming up to a roundabout, don't get faster. Keep your speed the same. And then as you get closer and closer to the roundabout, slow down. The ideal is that people can go through the roundabout at a slower speed. And if everyone uses the same slower speed, then you can go through the roundabout without stopping. And that really is the key, is not having to stop. But you can't go through a roundabout at 40 miles an hour, so you have to slow down, but in advance, and leave a gap between you and the car in front of you, so that when you get in the roundabout, if this car's already in there, they can fill in that gap, and you can take the gap that they're leaving in the roundabout. That keeps it flowing smoothly.
We'll get out of this jam in a minute. Kids! Big Ben! Parliament again.
One of my pet peeves is that people come up to a roundabout, they see a yield sign, and there's no one in the roundabout, but they stop. Or nearly stop. And it's crazy. It kind of makes the whole reason for a roundabout a moot point. On a good note, one of the very good things about a roundabout is that accidents are reduced by 70%. Serious accidents are reduced by 70%. The reason being is that there's no one turning across traffic. There's no one running through lights when they're red. So the only way to get through the roundabout is to slow down and go around it. So another thing about roundabouts is that usually in the center of a roundabout, maybe not all the way fully into the center, but a good portion of the roundabout in the middle is actually concrete. And the reason is that big trucks need to use roundabouts too, and their back end doesn't go around that circle the way that a car does. Usually the back of a trailer will go up onto the roundabout. So they designed them so that a tractor trailer can do that on purpose and be safe about it. So don't be alarmed when you see a tractor trailer going through a roundabout and its back end goes up onto the middle of it. It's normal. It's perfectly normal. It's not normal though is you're coming to a roundabout going 50 miles an hour and you hit it in the middle and you jump the roundabout. Wasn't designed for that. Back in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I used to live, there was a new freeway that was built, and there was several almost experimental exits that were put onto the freeway. One of which was interesting because it had 6 roundabouts. There were 3 roundabouts on each side of the exit. When you exited the freeway, you had to go through a roundabout, or you had to go to the right or to the left using the roundabout. But if you kept going, you come up to another roundabout parallel with the freeway.
Kids!
We know, Big Ben.
Parliament.
Went through that roundabout, you come up to the third one that's parallel with the freeway. And all three roundabouts were connected parallel with the freeway, but they also were connected. If you were to take a right on any of the three roundabouts, they eventually looped back in to one main road, which was the one that was the middle roundabout. Same way with the left. If you go left at any of the three roundabouts, you would go to the other side of the freeway, hit another roundabout.
It's amazing. I cannot get left.
And then if you kept going, you would end up with converging on that center road that went through the center roundabout. So I'll try to put a map up on the online so you can see what I'm talking about. But it was a lot of roundabouts, and people who weren't used to them, it really did confuse them to have to go through 4 roundabouts to get to your address that was, at the far roundabout. But that's the way it was designed. Wonderful things, these roundabouts.
I hate them.
I really like the fact that if people use them properly and slow down and just approach them with space between you and the car in front of you, that you actually can get through the roundabout at a pretty good speed.
Look, kids, forget it.
If you have ever seen where they've replaced a stop sign or a stop light with a roundabout, you can see just how much better it is. Especially stop signs. If you had people, come into a stop, roll a little forward, come to a stop, roll a little forward, come to a stop, over and over 10 to 15 times, so much nicer to be able to just slow down and go through it rather than having to stop. So, and if you're in a roundabout, don't stop to get out. You keep moving. Now, there is a rule that I've seen out there that says you're supposed to use signal lights in a roundabout. Well, I don't particularly like that rule, and the reason being is because if you're sitting at a yield sign and the roundabout is full of cars, and one car comes around the corner on the roundabout and its signal light is on, how do you know it's signaling to turn in the lane you're sitting in or toward where you came from, or if they're turning their signal light on so that they can turn at the next piece of the roundabout? So you don't know what the signal is for. So if you were to say, oh, they're turning here where I am, and you were to give it some gas and jump into the roundabout, then they could slam into you and it's your fault because you didn't yield. So there was absolutely no reason in my mind to use a turn signal in a roundabout, because you're just going to confuse other drivers. If you're waiting on a car in the roundabout, you think it might be going to turn before you so that you can go ahead and go, just wait your turn, wait and see if it goes. Once it goes, there's a space behind you, take the space and get into the roundabout. Anyway, that's my opinion about it.
There's Big Ben, kids, Parliament. I don't know.
Thank you for tuning in to Homie's Fact Sheet. Tune in again, please subscribe or don't. You know the deal. Subscribe or don't subscribe. Your choice.